So looks like British pounds wants to go higher. So if British pounds want to go higher, so let's get back to British pound versus Aussie. So yesterday we were here during our live trading room. So there was a nice possibility to go long. Okay. Then based on the, and we drew, just 1 second, we drew double channel, right, as a potential target. In the meantime, there was a good selling area here, right? So when we hit level around 79.90 within this selling area, I send a comment that if you are long, then it's a good time to take the profit and to take the short for around 50 pips or so, and we hit even 100, right? There was a possibility to go long again on a move back above the 20 daily, and based on the some kind of visible support, but I missed this move, right? I missed this move. But anyway, it was quite nice based on early chart. But I would be careful with longs for a while. As we are fighting on 20 daily, we are around selling zone. Resistance, 20 daily, right? So I would be very careful here with longs. Especially that weekly we are still below 20 weekly moving average. So we should start from weekly actually, right? But I start from hourly to show that, yeah, with British pound Aussie there was a nice intraday few setups. So one more time, we are around resistance. On weekly, I would say that visible support is around 74.50, more or less, right? We are around, as I mentioned, visible resistance. 20 weekly, right? So I would be careful with longs here. I would rather use dips to go long. On daily, one more time, on daily, as I mentioned, we are around visible resistance selling area, 20 daily moving average, but looks like on daily we're trying to create the momentum. So let's see what's going to happen later today. And on daily, the same like on weekly, I would like to buy dips. So eventually, based on daily, 78.15 could be as buying area. Of course, first before this one is going to be important, this zone here, right? Before going to be imported, we took once. Actually, no. We should take this selling zone first. So we should go like this, make some pullbacks and bump to the upside, right? Now let's try to check the bigger picture, and the same as on weekly. So here, here, previously, here. So yeah, we have this visible resistance. So would be good to go higher, make some pullbacks and jump. Some guys for sure trading head and shoulders pattern on daily, right? So based on head and shoulders pattern, there is a possibility to fall towards 170. Right? But as I mentioned a few times that very often head and shoulders formation is cancelled very quickly. At this time it was quite a nice move from 83 to 79, so 4 figures as of now. Okay. So that's the pound and Aussie. So for today, I would look for this as an intraday trade. I would look for upper line of this double channel here, right? One moment. Yes. And eventually any false break here. So I would use this selling zone as a possibility for intraday short. Okay. Especially that we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, eventually 5. So some kind of a correction here is possible. So again, tight stop and try to grab some 50 pips. And my first target would be this previous resistance, now support zone here, right? So around, let's say 79.20, 79. So if we are going to have a possibility to sell around 84-ish, right? So we could grab more than 50 pips. So let's wait, let's see what's going to happen with British pound and Aussie, okay? But one more time, let's see what's going to happen. I would like to see some false break to the upside. Let me put some lines, okay? Yeah, that's the zone I'm talking about. Okay, so maybe we are going to see some breakout of this line, some lower high, and correction. eventually, from the buying perspective, again 79, 78.50, those two zones. As long as we are above 77.40.20, okay? But we have nice zone here, so definitely I would like to use this zone as a selling opportunity. Let's go and check, because yeah, depends on the spread you have. We have nice trading opportunity on Aussie Canadian based on this zone here. When I went through the charts yesterday evening, okay, so we have the zone, we hit that level yesterday. Now after the Bank of Canada, and it looks like market wants to take some profit, so let's go to the lower time frame. One moment guys, sorry, let me explain, because besides the zone we have here, besides the selling zone, it's not only reason, okay, we do have ABCD formation. Let me show you. Right after this strong move to the downside here, we did first leg ideally and second, right? So selling zone, A, B, C, D formation, nice setup. Nice setup here. Let's go lower to 1 hour. And let's try to find best possible entry. Personally, me, I have quite wide spread, but anyway, it's based on daily, so we got the chance to go nicely lower. So I would like to use, yeah, that was Tokyo high. So I would like to use the white zone 103.25 to 50 as a selling opportunity, okay? And depends. If we are going to make this trade based on the hourly chart, means like intraday trade, so I would like to put my stop just few pips above yesterday high, right? If you want to take the trade based on daily, the stop has to be, I would say, around 20 pips above the zone, so around 104.30 bit side. Okay, So if you are going, so selling around, let's say average 103.35 with this longer term trade, we are targeting this level around the parity. So we are going for around 300 pips, risking 100, right? So 3 to 1 based on daily chart. Now intraday, I would go for 102.60, 102.50. So trading from 103.20.25 is going to give us around 75 with tight stop of 20, let's say pips. It's still 3 to 1, okay? So that's the nice setup on Aussie Canadian. So let's check Aussie now. Because we had some mixing signals based on okay. We are still within the channel, and I was waiting at the line, but we hit just this selling zone. I was waiting for a third touch, and I missed Aussie. I was waiting for extreme here as an intraday trade, because remember I mentioned that we are going to have possible breakout on Aussie yen. So that was mixing signals, right? Bullish Aussie with yen and bearish Aussie with dollar. And I will move to dollar yen within the second, right? Because yesterday there was a before we finish, I mentioned about the possible long dollar yen. Okay. So that's the moment we were talking about, and we made deeper pullback. We didn't move higher. Let me make it bigger. So why this trade was not valid yesterday, right? I mentioned that we had strong rejection here, and what I was waiting yesterday for, just I was expecting pullback and start from here. It took longer. We went higher above the channel, but immediately we had a hesitation. So that was the top of the day, and since then only profit taking. And this nice setup happened during the Tokyo session, so I was in a bet, but it was nice selling opportunity, and most probably we are going toward 95 to the end to the end of the channel. Okay. So more, even 94.85 maybe. Okay. So there was a few nice setups during the Tokyo session, and we have to wait for some bounce. So in that case, let's go smoothly to dollar yen. Let's start with 20. Because looks like I missed this 20 moving average on daily. Okay. And I mentioned about the possibility long below 102.20 with very tight stop, and I took this because we had this pullback below 102.20 after our meeting yesterday. So I took the trade around that level. We went higher toward the 20. It was okay, but then when I saw all this supply, I simply closed the trade at break even. And again, nice setup during the Tokyo session. Okay. Looks like Tokyo was very active last night, and a lot of things happened during the Tokyo. So yeah, we have to be patient. We have to wait for some continuation, but we have to get some better prices now. Euro dollar. Remember, guys, about this narrow range I mentioned, because of this possible move measure right from here to the upside. Also, I mentioned 138 as a support. And look, guys, we hit almost to the peak. I was waiting here, so I missed the trade, but it was nice selling off exactly towards 38. So that was the reason. That was the reason, as I described yesterday. I wouldn't take it here at the very beginning because of the high risk, lower reward. I was waiting here. Unfortunately, we missed by 3 pips, 4 pips this time. Okay, so I was waiting for extreme. Now let's start with weekly, because looks like we are going to have some insight week compared to the previous one. And on the weekly, still we are within the uptrend, so that's why we have to be very careful with selling. Now daily, that's important. Because looks like because of the gap, we have some selling pressure coming into the market. but still we are above 20 daily moving average. And as we tested the zone early, okay? And as we tested the zone yesterday, the whole, I'm talking about the whole zone, right? Okay. So we tested, we went deeply into the zone. Today again, let's see how strong the zone is, because we can easily, because of the low liquidity, we can easily try to hit the stops and use the momentum to close the gap. So hitting the short stops means that the market is buying. So if someone wants to push it higher, they need less money, right? They need less their own money to push it higher. So I wouldn't be surprised to see today, tomorrow, that we are trying to close the gap. But as long as we are below 38, 60, 65, still I would try to sell closer to 38.60 with very tight stop. So 38.60, 65 is still valid, right? So let's be careful, guys. Euro British pound. I mentioned yesterday that could be some buying opportunity. I put it as a comment, and it's only based on the third attempt. Here, right? That's the only reason. Looks bearish, but even if we want to create some channel, so we should bounce up from here, right? And of course, still, as a longer picture, right? We still fighting, right? Breakout, pull back, and we are still bulls trying to avoid full back inside the channel. So we have some reason to look for long here with very tight stop. Of course, it's a very risky trade, but usually the risky trades, if they are good, they are the best risk rewards. So what we have on hourly? Yes. So first possible breakout above 82.26.27. So we can move towards 82.40. And with this breakout trade, of course, we are going 1-to-1 because we are placing the stop. We are placing the stop below here, right? But this type, as I mentioned a few times during few trainings 101, this type of the trade would be good if we have similar setups on more than 2 other crosses. So let's get back for a while to pound Aussie. Nothing here as of now. Let's take a look. Pound yen. We still got the chance to go slightly higher. So nothing here. Pound dollar ugly as well. So looks like we have a setup only on euro pound eventually. So it's risky, right? Because we don't have confirmation on any different British pound cross. So it could show us that euro for a while could be stronger. So here I would be careful. Okay, I would be very careful here. Now, during the yesterday comment, I also, just one second guys please, I also mentioned about Euro Swiss franc, and I said that Euro Swiss the only cross I would grab long, right? And I collected some pips here. Like hour after the comments or 2 hours after the comments, we had this spike to the upside. Aussie yen would be nice to try to join somewhere here, but of course it's no possibility to join right now. So as of now, we are going to watch British pound, Aussie Canadian. We are watching Aussie yen. So few Aussie crosses. Looks like Aussie is weakening. Across the board. Let's take a look on dollar CAD after the Bank of Canada rate decision. Guys, remember, here I didn't take anything, but I mentioned from the downside there is a 109.30, nothing happened, and from the upside that's the selling zone. So if anyone grabbed few pips, congratulations, and we can go lower here. But I would say instead of dollar Canada, I'm watching Aussie Canadian because the Aussie is weakening versus Canada and US dollar as well. Okay. So I'm going to watch Aussie Canadian. The yen crosses are weakening as well. Let's take a look on Euro JPY. We were trying to go higher, and supply came in later during the US session yesterday. Range, bigger range, and we are right now in the middle on a daily. What's going on lower time frame? One hour. We hit the zone nicely, and we have a pullback, right? Tough call, because based on daily we are in the middle of the nowhere. Now we made a pullback to the visible support, trying to hold. Tough call on Euro JPY. Pound is trying to stop us out. Let's take a look also on Kiwi, and let's try to summarize everything. Kiwi, I was waiting for similar setup like on Aussie, but we didn't hit the upper line. And remember, we were around here, and I mentioned that it's not a good idea to sell because of this demand zone, and we move higher, right? But let's start with weekly. We have this supply I mentioned last week. Daily, we are still trying to hold above. We are still trying to hold above 20 daily moving average and move. But right now the 20 is flattish, but move above yesterday high could push the prices higher again. So I would be very careful, and of course we have some kind of demand zone on daily. That's why there was a demand on hourly. So that was the reason I mentioned not to sell into support, right? The inflation number was weak, but we have to remember that we have RBNZ rate decision next week, and the market expectation is hike of quarter point, 0.25 basis. So it could push Kiwi higher. Okay. So maybe instead of trying to sell Kiwi now, maybe waiting for the rate decision, we should take a look at Aussie Kiwi and try to find the opportunity to buy. Okay. Let's take a look what we have. Supply, 1, 2, some visible resistance. And visible support. Looks like we are going to have narrow range around 109.20, 108, so around 100 pips. So I would wait for extreme here. Supply came in yesterday. But overall picture here on daily looks like it's the range and we are within the upper side of the range, okay? So I would look for selling opportunity here. So let's take a look on hourly. There's one here, but we have some kind of the channel. Just one moment, guys. Let's try to create something here. That was the resistance. We took them out. Pull back, hold, lower high, broke down. But here we have first support. Okay, looks like we have easier trade within the Aussie CAD and eventually Aussie Yen. So let's leave Aussie Kiwi. Let's leave Aussie Kiwi. Okay, so let's try to summarize what we have and let's try to stay with 4 or 5 max crosses. Okay, euro dollar on the weekly looks like we could go higher, especially low liquidity today, tomorrow, Monday. Okay. Daily, definitely we have some stops above yesterday high. And definitely we have some stops around 38.65 as I mentioned. And hourly, so we are talking about those levels. That's yesterday high, so we have some stops for sure above because of the move down here. We took out some demand zone here, went lower, so the top here, so 38.55, 65, I would look for any signs of weakness and I would try to join with tight stop with the move towards 38 again. Otherwise, we have this nice selling zone around 39.21 from last week. Okay. And as I mentioned, I wouldn't join the buying right now. Closer to 137 would be nice to see some maybe aggressive sell-off. It's rather not possible. And buying around around 38. Eventually, if you want to trade euro dollar eventually, from the long side. That's the risky business, but I would go with around 38.15. Stops below 85, below 80, so it's giving us 35 pips, so quite wide. So the question is, if we are going long from around 15 with 35 pips stop, do we have a chance to hit 100 pips? And if it's a real one, right? Because if we want to create a long setup, then we have to have real possibility, right? So yes, we have small chances hitting the stops above 65. So hitting the stops here, we got the chance to push the prices towards 39.20, especially if we are going to hit those stops as well, right? So taking the long from 138.10.15, if possible, we can easily have 100 pips, of course, if we are going to hit 39.20. It's quite risky because we have few good resistances around. So I would be very careful, right? It's a based on daily. Now the question is, can we try to get in around 15 and narrow the stops instead of below 37.80? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So definitely there was a demand zone. It's been tested. There was another one that's been tested. So now we have something here, but we didn't clean any supply from here, right? We didn't clean any supply from here. So eventually I would try to buy as low as possible. So maybe even below 38.15, some spike down. So maybe closer to, because we have to, at least we have to place the stop somewhere here below that level, and it's 37.79, right? So we have to have the stop around 75 offer. So buying at 15 is giving us 40, too wide. So I would wait. If you want to go long euro dollar, so I would wait for 38 again. It's a 20 daily moving average as well, and some kind of the consolidation, some higher low, right? And something like this with stop below this low. So it's possible to go long euro dollar, but most probably it's going to be easier to go long euro British pound. So we do have, because I would like to look for selling opportunity around 38.60, as I mentioned, and if you guys want to go long, I would like to try to go long as close as possible to 38. Okay, so that's the plan for euro dollar. Now let's go and check what's going on with euro pound. Definitely we are at the very important point, because based on the daily, as I've shown you before, based on the daily, we are testing this broken channel, right? So definitely there is some demand. There is a third attempt. Let's get back again to daily. There is this third attempt. So that's the possibility that we are going to see the bounce on euro pound. Okay. So not necessarily we have to go long with euro dollar. We can try to go long with euro pound, but we have to be very careful, extremely careful, because we have the resistance very closely. But the real selling, taking the support here, right, because we are below, taking the support here, the real selling came from here. So that's the selling area, supply zone, around 80 to 50 to 60, right? So if we want to eventually take this breakout trade, so I would go for half position 1-to-1, like around 40-ish something, which is below this visible resistance. Then I would move my stop to entry and I would wait for the final target here within that supply zone. Okay, so that's the plan for euro pound. Aussie Canada, we know that we have supply zone. We know that we hit that zone yesterday, and during the Tokyo we went slightly lower. So we are looking for selling opportunity around 103.20, 25 as an intraday trade with tight stop above yesterday high, targeting around 102.50. Okay, so that's the plan for Aussie Canada. I would wait. It's not. I don't have any plan to buy this cross at current levels. Or the first visible on hourly is 101.55, but based on daily, as I've shown you before, there is a chance to go towards the parity. Okay. Next, Aussie dollar. Missed by a few pips selling opportunity. Still we'll look for selling opportunity, but guys, as long as we are within the channel, otherwise breaking to the upside, and if the line will hold, we could have this bullish continuation pattern, right? So I would look for, let's clean it. So the few plans. I would look for selling opportunity around 93.90, 94, some spikes, right? But if we are so from here, and my target would be around 93, 92.80 here, as we have some demand zone as well. So that's the first selling plan. Then, if we are going to make the breakout and this line is going to hold, I would look for small long breakout trade, right? Where my target is going to be? My target is going to be around 95. Based on daily. Because we had the selling zone here. but we took out all the stops most probably. So we have next one around 95. So I would look for final push higher toward 95. But as we are very close to 95, just one figure. So taking this breakout trade, as I mentioned, I would take the smallest possible trade on my side. So that's the scenario number 2. And scenario number 3, if you are going straight from here lower, I would look for this area 92.80, 92.60 as a buying opportunity for final push higher towards 95, right? Definitely I would, from here, from 92.80, I will look for 95, but definitely I'm gonna have to think about the reductions on profit taking around 94. Okay, it's going to be like 100 something pips, risking few. So that's the Aussie. Aussie yen. Tough call. We hit the selling zone once, but there is not strong rejection. We are still above 20 daily moving average, right? We have some visible support. Of course, we had a false breakout here, false break of this channel. So that's the possibility that we are going to test the end of that channel somewhere here. So intraday, let's try to find some selling opportunity around 95.70 with tight stop and target of 100 pips, okay? But based on daily and some longer time position, I would look for 96.50, 60 as a selling opportunity. And again, if we are going to move above and hold, not like yesterday, right? Or like during the Tokyo, then we can try to join the party to the upside before selling. But as of now, based on what happened here, false breakout, I would look for bounce and selling opportunity, okay? British pound Aussie, as we discussed. Let's see what's going to happen around 180.50. So it's after the Euro British pound Aussie is a second cross. So okay, we are very close to stop on our British pound dollar. Right now it's slightly below 30, but looks like there is some sign of potential profit taking on pound. Let's see what's going to happen, okay? Let's see what's going to happen. And dollar Swiss. There was some sign of weakness of the Swiss franc for a while yesterday when we had those spikes everywhere. The thing is that on daily, yesterday again we closed below 20, so immediately supply came in. Okay. Slightly tricky because we have supply here, but at the same time there was a nice demand last 2 days around that level. 87.80. So wait for extremes, let's see what's going to happen. Okay. So euro dollar looking to sell closer to 38.55.65. Eventually you can try to buy, as I explained, closer or very close to 38. British pound, we are sitting short, and I wouldn't say that I'm happy right now with my short. Aussie dollar, there is 3 possibilities. We are within the channel at early, so the upper range I'm gonna use to sell. Any breakouts, the line of the channel has to hold, then we are going to join the party to the upside. Otherwise, if shorts stay until 93, 92.80, and then 92.80, 92.60, there is a nice demand zone, so I would go for long with tight stop and the potential of 94 as a partial profit taking, and then around 95. Okay. Euro British pound, there is an opportunity for intraday long eventually after the break, as I've shown you. British pound Aussie, we are waiting for 180.40. Aussie Canadian, we are waiting for 103.20.25 as a selling opportunity, and Aussie Yen, we are waiting for some move higher towards 95.80 to the area of the Tokyo sell-off, and then we will decide what next. Okay, so guys, that's it. It's almost Easter time, so from the market perspective, the liquidity for sure is going to be lower. It's the paradise for market makers to earn some money, so be very careful, use tight stops, and we are going to meet next week, for sure not Monday. I will try to, other words, we will for sure update the website before end of the Sunday, so we will know when we are going to meet next week. Guys, thank you very much, take care, enjoy. I'm not sure, yeah, I can say it. Happy Easter, all the best, take care, bye bye.